Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links reaction. Today we have card games on motorcycles, which is so much fun. I mean, Black Gold and the executive producers wanted me to get to this song. It's their request, but they were also like, this is Yusei's theme. It's from Duel Links. Yusei, by the way, is this character from 5Ds. As if I haven't lived 5Ds, all right? I'm almost 30. Of course I experienced it. I experienced the original. I experienced 5Ds. I experienced Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, like, while it was airing. Like, I am very much in that space. I wasn't exclusively a Yu-Gi-Oh! Kid. I also did Pokemon and a bunch of other stuff as well, like Digimon, etc. I was kind of everywhere. But of course I know card games on motorcycles. Of course I watched the Little Karibo parodies, all of them. I was actually friends with a few of the voice actors in those. So like, sure, I'm aware. But also, of course, I don't know this theme, and I do know Duel Links, but this is apparently the first game for their smartphone line of games, which is pretty sick. I don't know if it's just like all one title or if there's like multiple sub games from the Duel Links franchise. I don't know how that works, but either way, this is Yusei's theme from that, so I'm gonna listen to this, and without further ado, let's go! Ooh. Oh. We're gonna get like a fusion song? Nope. Nope, that's 4-4. Okay. I really thought they were gonna do like a fusion jazz thing. But this is more like kind of 90s synth pop funk. Ah, man. Great solo work here. I'm actually surprised at how simple it is. Ooh. I spoke too soon. Okay, they're having a little bit of fun. A little halftime action here. Ooh, a change up. Ooh. Okay, and it loops back. So they are putting fusion elements in here. Just a little bit. Just for like the end of phrases. Also, that bass line. Damn. Just going everywhere. Also, why is Frieza Dragon on the screen? Like, why is that the picture they chose? Of course, we got Yusei here, obviously. And I know this is probably just like a loop, like a copy-paste of the first version, or the first pass of the song. But it's always good to hear them twice. You get to experience more of the song, figure more of it out. Yeah, we're at this section again. Which means we should be hitting the loop again here in like the next 30 seconds or so. I love this part. There's the loop again. Are they gonna play it through again? Oh, nope, fade out, okay. Okay. Yeah, they did something here. They did something very clever here, and I am highly impressed. That one makes me crave milk. And see, I know the jokes. I know them. I was a part of it. Don't worry, Black Gold. I know Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyway, this did something that is so clever, but also very hard to put into words. So I'm going to try my best here. But effectively with this song, what it was doing is it was definitely more of like a pop funk sort of sound, but they did utilize a little bit of like jazz fusion elements, especially for the fills and changing things up a little bit, but they only did it at like slight intervals, like straight up one measure, you know, like that's really all they needed. And they kind of used that as a buffer to get back into the song. And this song is amazing at doing something that is very difficult, which is making an addictive looping track, something that doesn't feel like it gets old after the first time through or the first minute or so of listening, where you're just like, oh God, you know, like give me something else. This song doesn't really have that. And there's kind of an interesting reason why, and it gets into like the psychology of people in general, like the way that music affects your subconscious and the way that I think this composer is kind of playing at. I don't know if they did this on purpose, and that's the reason that it's hard to word, because like if they didn't do it on purpose, then it was purely a happy accident, purely coincidental, and it just worked out this way. But the psychology of this song is that it subverts your expectations by building the energy only to start back with the exact same track again. But the reason that doesn't piss you off is because of how they built up the energy. They did that change in the song, like I said, a few times through this, and usually right at the spots right where it looped back to the very beginning of the track. They had moments of like the drums changing up, and they kind of threw in a little wrench into the rhythm and made things sound a little bit different and feel a little bit different. And the reason that that works the way it does and makes it so you don't get pissed off by hearing the same song over and over again is because it's setting up psychologically your brain to experience like a dopamine release. There are pleasure receptors in your mind that are activated by changes like that. It makes you perk up. It makes your brain go, whoa, that's a little bit different. It's kind of the same reason why people who are neurodivergent like little ouchies. If you don't know what that is, basically it's like little things that are like minor pains or like little pricks or anything that can be done to your hands or arms, just minor irritants that can be stimulating for the mind. Even if you're not neurodivergent, if you're completely neurotypical, that sort of input is stimulating to the mind. It's a very similar place for those pleasure receptors to feel it and then want to see what else happens after this, as long as you know that you're safe, you know? So when you're listening to music or playing a game, that's kind of, you know, expected. You're not playing this to death, you know? So the reason that this all works out and like the Yap session is justified here is that this song builds all of that energy up and it sets you up to have this change. And psychologically, you would be expecting that change to be significant, something completely new, completely different. But then when that doesn't happen, you suddenly are like, oh, it's the same thing. Okay. And you don't mind it, where usually you would expect to hear that build up and go, oh, something's changing. Oh, nothing changed, and be like disappointed. And there are two types of people that respond to songs like this. And the other half definitely will have that response of like, oh, and then they'll be disappointed. But the reason that this works for the majority of people is the fact that it purely plays to this expectation and then the subversion of going back to something you're familiar with and something that isn't annoying to begin with. The composition of this one, the progression of the notes is entirely happy. It's all vibes. Like there's really no tension in this song at all. There's none of that. There's nothing that's signaling to your brain that there's a threat, you know, like not even a little bit. So like there might be, okay, maybe one or two like chord choices in here, but again, those were like kind of shifts between these areas and more or less just used to connect different chord patterns than anything else. So they don't really count in that way. They only add tension in order to immediately release that tension, and that is completely different. It's not the same thing as creating a song that sounds sad, for example. It's just vibes all the way through. So when you get that build up and then it releases into the same thing, you're kind of welcomed by this experience of, oh, we're back at square one and I know I'm okay here. And that, again, is a psychological trick that I don't think the composer actually intended to do, but it works, and it works extremely well. And I always have to give props to composers, because even if they don't intend to do this sort of thing, it is very difficult to pull off, and most of the time it is just an accident, and they're just making a song that sounds fun and uplifting and cool. It's just a guitar solo over some basic chords. What could possibly be played into psychologically that way? It's like, I mean, it's for a mobile game, right? Like, anything could be the case. They could literally have written this song to specifically play to that demographic, the type of people who would already be getting addicted to this sort of game, and they don't want them to leave. So make a song that feels really good and really addictive. Also, side note, this song sounds a lot like Splatoon. I don't know if that is the same composer. I doubt it, but also hitting a lot of the same notes as far as the repetition, and again, that high energy, really no stakes kind of vibey feel, and they did a really good job. That's a little bit more jazz fusion-y than this song is specifically, but in general, it kind of hits a similar receptor in the mind. So very fantastic track. I'm very impressed by it. It is super fun to listen to, and like I said, could be listened to 100 times over without that feeling of repetitiveness, getting boring or tired. You don't really get that with this song. Maybe some people will. Like I said, there's a few people out there who will have that negative reaction to hearing the same thing after a few times, even if it's psychologically trying to trick you into not having that feeling, because everyone's a little bit different. But either way, this is super impressive and really fun to listen to. So they did a fantastic job on this one, and I see why it's the main character's theme. You couldn't ask for something better. But I think I'm done yapping here after, God, how long? Probably 10 minutes. So thank you all so very much for watching. If you have another song you want me to get to, by all means, drop in the comments below, and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if, like Black Gold did, you want to guarantee that I listen to something, you can go to my Patreon or my YouTube memberships. There's a tier that will force me to listen to whatever you want. It doesn't matter who it's by, what it's from, if it's good or bad, none of that matters. That's why it's a guarantee. But if you don't want to do any of that, and maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!